4 ways American English is pretty weird. Really interested to see what we got with this video and see in what ways American English is weird. Excited to get into this. Before we do, I appreciate if you guys can that subscribe button. Let's get straight to this and check this out, man.
Here are 4 more ways that American English is pretty weird. In part 1, I told you this. While consecutive instances of the letter Z have inexplicably come to denote the sound of snoring, they also show up with surprising frequency in words that were coined in the United States.
Okay.
But in that sense, there's perhaps one letter that Americans like to pair together even more. The letter O.
Oh.
You see, it all started pretty much as soon as Europeans reached present-day North America
What, as pirates? Oh, crikey. Wait, how have I just been, what have I done? What have I done?
Pretty much as soon as Europeans reached present-day North America, as evidenced by a word featured heavily in my last video.
Okay.
The English word raccoon comes from the Algonquin word arakun. And long before the intergenerational rivalry between boomers and zoomers, themselves a product of American English, the US produced a deluge of other words with OO digraphs. In linguistic terms, a digraph is when 2 letters pair up to produce a single sound, in this case.
Ooh. Oh. I wouldn't say ooh.
From 1865, the southern US gave us the word doodlebug, a type of beetle.
Oh, wait, I do say ooh. Because I would say doodle. I wouldn't say doodle. Okay, yeah, fair enough.
And a word that the British would later use to describe a form of flying bomb employed by the Nazis. Curiously, the word predates the US coinage of doodle, as in to sketch idly, by some 60 years. However, both words came later than whangdoodle, which was a fanciful American coinage of the 1850s, meaning a creature whose appearance is left to one's imagination. Whangdoodles later became a favourite of British author Roald Dahl.
Yo, oh, I love Roald Dahl books. Bro, so good. But I've never heard of a whangdoodle before, bro.
Reference them in not just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, but several other works.
Oh, really?
And to this day, I still hear Americans use the word boondocks or boonies to describe a remote place. As it happens, this word was brought to the US by American soldiers who had been stationed in the Philippines, where the Tagalog word bundock meant mountain. In fact, boondocks is one of many B words in American English to use the OO digraph. Additionally, American English has given us boondoggle, boogie woogie, Betty Boop, booger, boombox, and honey boo boo. The OO digraph is still alive and well today, with Gen Z embracing I am shook and let Lawrence cook, as in to do his job
Okay, so we're just saying that the 2 O's make it ooh, like shook. But we say that as well.
Supremely well.
That's not just American English, is it?
You've seen my cornbread. As in, well, today, with Gen Z embracing I am shook and let Lawrence cook. As in, to do his job supremely well. Not actually cook, because you've seen my cornbread.
I'm the same, bro.
Between setting the nation's agenda and waving from golf courses, US presidents have had a surprising influence on American English. I say surprising, they obviously benefit from having their every word documented for public consumption. It's just that in an oddly high number of cases, some of those words were being used for the very first time. In addition to the word belittle, Thomas Jefferson coined Anglomania, a word used to describe excessive enthusiasm for all things English, which is something that I still happily benefit from, so thank you. Many decades later, as the word okay.
Why in this picture then it looked like his arms wasn't attached to his body? Are they his arms? Yo, that's tripping me out, bro. Are they his arms? They don't look like they're on his body.
Happily benefit from.
Wait, what?
To describe excessive enthusiasm for all things English, which is something that I still happily benefit from, so thank you. Many decades later, as the word okay was emerging out of northeastern slang, it entered nationwide and even global usage after the 2 letters were attached to the 1840 re-election campaign of Martin Van Buren. Supporters of Van Buren, whose head somehow looked like a cloud, formed something known as the OK Club. This was both in reference to the new word and the fact that the incumbent's nickname was Old Kinderhook, a nod to Van Buren's hometown of Kinderhook, New York. From then on, OK went mainstream across the land, despite the fact that Van Buren lost. Oh no! And then came the story of why most Americans say normalcy instead of normality like we do in Britain. For answers, look no further than 29th President Warren G. Harding, who ran on the campaign slogan, "A return to normalcy." Is that he didn't speak.
I've never heard of the word normalcy.
Like that. At the time, Harding was accused of using a malapropism, that is, the mistaken use of a word in place of one that sounds similar. After all, at the time, Americans overwhelmingly used normality. However, his alleged misuse of the word seemed to catch on. From 1920, normalcy, just like speakeasies, skyrocketed in use across the land.
Wait, so instead of saying normality, you guys in America, that the standard is just normalcy? Really?
Speakeasies skyrocketed in use across the land. And then came the contributions of America's World War II presidents. Before the 1930s, the word iffy, meaning of doubtful quality and full of ifs, ironically did
if he's used in the UK as well.
Not exist. That is, until it became a word favoured by Franklin D. Roosevelt, who is believed to have originated it. In particular, he would brandish the word when dismissing hypothetical questions from the press. As in, the only thing we have to fear, no, that's JFK, is iffy questions like that one. And his successor, Harry Truman, took things a step further. Not content with coining a single word, he introduced or popularised two well-known sayings. His desk in the Oval Office bore a sign saying, "The buck stops here." A phrase that was little known before his presidency, but widely used after it. And then there's a phrase...
Wait. I don't get it, bro. What does that mean? What does buck stops here mean? What does that mean?
But widely used after it. And then there's a phrase that we still use today that first showed up in print in 1942, when Truman was still a senator. In July of that year, an Idaho newspaper reported, "A favorite rejoinder of Senator Truman when a member of his war contract investigating committee objects to his strenuous pace. If you don't like the eat, get out of the kitchen." Truman wasn't from Yorkshire. Anyway, this is the earliest known use of the phrase, with Truman later replacing "don't like" with "can't stand."
Okay, fair enough.
Acronyms. In modern times, no country on earth has come close to the United States when it comes to forming snappy new words from the first letters of other words.
Okay.
In fact, as long ago as 1879, a fellow by the name of Walter P. Phillips issued something called the Phillips Code, which defined a new set of abbreviations and sometimes acronyms for words commonly used by journalists. The idea was that by sending abbreviated telegraphic messages,
ABBGLG words can save XB amidst mod of... Yo, bro, is there anyone watching this video can understand that? Can you translate this? What is going on? ABBGLG words can save XB. I know that this says amidst, right? Amidst Monday... I don't know, bro. I don't know.
It's like this instead of their longer alternatives. But
oh, wait, what? Wait, that's what it means? Abbreviated long words can save exorbitant amounts. Oh, that's not even amounts. That's amounts. Amounts of money. Oh, wow. Avoiding filling a petition. Avoid... Okay, yeah, I don't get it. Yeah, that's just, that just don't make sense. How is AVOG FAPIB meaning avoiding filling a petition? How does that mean that, bro?
Both time and money could be saved. Think of it as the text speak of its day. In fact, as a result of the Phillips Code, Americans still use two acronyms that came from it, POTUS and SCOTUS. And as the 20th century unfolded, acronyms like this became ever more trendy in American English.
Wait,
the 20th century still used two acronyms that came from it, POTUS
Supreme Court of the United States. Oh, okay.
And SCOTUS. And as the 20th century unfolded, acronyms like this became ever more trendy in American English. Now, for the purposes of clarity, I'm defining an acronym as an abbreviation that can be pronounced as a word in its own right. Like NASA, as opposed to an initialism like LITP, which must be spelled out.
Okay, the only acronym that I also know, but it's because of POTUS, is FLOTUS. And that's because First Lady, but I'm trying to think of any other... You know what? I can't think of the top of my head the acronyms, but I know, like, if I see them, I'm gonna be like, oh.
In 1917, the US military gave us a word that historically belonged to both categories. The word AWOL, which stands for absent without leave, was initially pronounced AWOL. It was...
Oh, is that what that means? Yo, I've used AWOL before, and I've used... Yeah, I still use it now, like, if I need to say it. I didn't know it actually meant that, bro. Wait, what? Like, I knew AWOL means, like, you got AWOL. Like, you got a bit, you know, a little bit rogue. You're not there no more. but it means absence without leave. Okay.
Pronounced AWOL. It wasn't until World War Part II that its modern-day pronunciation fell into use, and it was at this time that countless other American acronyms were drafted into the English language. Chief among them was radar. While radar technology existed in Britain and the US before then, the word itself is attributed to the US Navy, who coined it in 1940 as an acronym for radio detection and ranging. In recent decades, it has evolved into what's known as an acronym, meaning a word most people no longer recognize as an acronym because its uppercase lettering and original meaning have been lost to time.
Yeah. I just thought radar was radar. I thought that was the word for it.
Other examples of this phenomenon include scuba and laser, themselves products of American English. But for all the technical application of wartime acronyms, some were more sarcastic, such as one I still...
Wait, you're telling me scuba is like scuba diver? Is an acronym, and so is laser? Wait, what do they mean?
For all the technical application of wartime acronyms, some were more sarcastic, such as one I still hear in America today. Snafu, which means situation normal, all f***ed up. And you might be thinking, snafu?
I like that. I've never heard of it before. I like that.
Who is the perfect word to describe this very video? After all, how dare I judge present-day American English by 80-year-old trends? Well, because those trends never really went away. Since then, American-derived acronyms have cropped up in all walks of life, from the corporate sector to healthcare to information technology. And in the last 10 years alone, we've seen the popularization of several acronyms, including one currently favored by Gen Z, GOAT, meaning greatest of all time. Now, before Uncle Toby starts dunking on the youth of today.
Okay, GOAT is a very, very, very popular one. But like also LOL. LOL is an acronym. That's a popular one. Laugh out loud. When I think about it, there's actually loads. There's actually loads.
Please remember two things. Number one, the generation before you once did the same. And number two, the acronym GOAT predates Gen Z by several decades, Gen Z. Actually, its earliest known use is attributed to one Yolanda Williams, otherwise known as Lonnie Ali, the wife of Muhammad Ali. In 1992, she founded Greatest of All Time Inc., stylized as GOAT Inc., to consolidate Muhammad Ali's intellectual property.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's where it came from.
Britain and America are pretty well known for not pronouncing words the same way. And when I first moved to the United States, there was one pronunciation trend that really stood out. The tendency of some Americans to pronounce str as str in words like strong.
Strong.
The utterance of a sound...
Wait, so Americans say strong instead of strong. Strong. That's strong.
Found in a word that doesn't feature it seemed quite weird to me at first. But then I remembered two things. Number one, this English town is pronounced Lempster. And number two, linguistics undoubtedly has a word for such a phenomenon.
Well, does it?
Yes, actually. S-backing.
Allow me to explain by taking you inside a human mouth, which is not as filthy as it sounds. Unless they don't floss. The human mouth is, of course, how humans verbalize their thoughts. But different sounds require your tongue to interact with different parts of your mouth. For instance, as an English speaker, I pronounce the initial consonant cluster in the word strength as stra. When I do this, my tongue glides between what's known as the alveolar ridge, where the S and T are articulated, to the post-alveolar position, where the R is articulated. This is also not a euphemism. But there's something you should know about the post-alveolar position. That's also where the tongue goes when articulating sh. Anyway, that's why it's called S-backing, because in the case of strong, the S is articulated further back. Because of this, some phoneticians believe S-backing could be the result of assimilation. Assimilation is when a speech sound is influenced by a similar sound that's about to come. An example of this in British English is when Brits pronounce handbag as handbag, because the
handbag. Wait, I don't even know what I say anymore. I don't say handbag. Who says handbag? Handbag. I don't even know. Did I? Yo, you know when you start thinking and saying words that you've said before and you lose track of like what you even say anymore? I don't even know what I say. Handbag. I swear I say handbag. I don't say handbag. Handbag. Example of this in British English is when Brits pronounce handbag as handbag, because the M and B are both bilabial consonants. That is, they are articulated using both lips. Whatever the cause, if you're the sort of person that doesn't like it when Americans do this, there are two things that you should know. Number one of the lesser known characteristics of S
backing appears to be that many speakers don't realize they're doing it until it's pointed out to them.
Okay.
Is that you? Let me know in the comments. And number 2.
Yo, I don't know. You guys told me. You guys watch my videos, you might have realized.
It's not just Americans. While it is said to be most prevalent in American English, the phenomenon has been widely reported in other varieties of English, including those of Australia, Canada, and Britain. Yes, it turns out, particularly in the years since I left, that instances have been on the rise back in the motherland.
So perhaps, at least on this score, American English is not quite so weird after all. If I've learned anything from this...
I feel like every language could be weird in its own ways. You know what I'm saying? And you guys definitely point out in the comments what I say incorrectly or weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it all the time when I say button. You guys are saying, are you saying button or are you saying bun? You know what I mean? I'm not saying bun. I'm saying button. That don't sound the same. Button, bun, bun, button. Wait, I said button then American. Button. I'll start saying button from now on. Button.
Video, it is that Americans like their O's and their acronyms, and sometimes both at the same time.
Ooh.
I've learned that presidents being at the center of historic events.
I got a feeling no one says ooh for out of office. I got a feeling no one ever says that, bro.
Are well primed to influence the words we use. Even Benjamin Franklin, who might as well have been a president, coined the word harmonica.
Harmonica.
And I've learned that when it comes to American English, the truth is stranger than friction.
Okay.
Fiction. If you were absolutely obsessed with this video...
No, that was a very interesting video, though. Diving more into the way that we say things. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you leave a thumbs up. Subscribe for more content. Make sure you guys hit that button. Not bun. I'm live every single day on twitch.tv/L3WG. If you guys want to check me out over there, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.